Welcome back to Cover Your Assets, 855-835-8500. It's 855-835-8500 to tap directly in to the expertise we've got sitting around the table. Todd Rooker, Jason Walgrave, and Mr. Craig Nestor.
Yeah, we were speaking right before the break, and Todd was talking about the clients that aren't suffering as much as other people inside of this economy. You know, Todd, and I was thinking about that on the break, and even though they don't want to be here, if you've bought a house in the last 10 years, you're here whether you want to be here or not. Isn't that accurate?
That's, the thing is, I just did a seminar for real estate investors recently, and I talked about a client who's never missed a payment in their lives has $100 million worth of real estate. At least they did 10 years ago, and today that real estate is worth $35 million, and the bank says you've got a loan for $70 million. And although this person hasn't missed a payment, the bank calls the note due and asks them to perform on a $70 million loan. And oh, by the way, we've already done a preliminary assessment of the value of your real estate, which used to be $100 million, yielding you a $30 million net worth. Your real estate is now worth $35 million. We'd like you to perform on this $70 million loan. Well, out in the audience, there's a gasp. And I say, let me tell you something. If you're a homeowner, that's you. Because the numbers are just different, the zeros are different, but don't say, oh, too bad, so sad for the poor rich folks. Remember, if you're a homeowner, this is you. Now, when I deal with people like this, people who are very successful, they are the sluggers in life who go out and make things happen. These are not the people who lay down. And in this economy, for our society to come back, these are the people, quite frankly, who are the wagon pullers. And when the economy begins to recover, these are the people who will get back to swinging the bats as hard as they can and come back as fast and hard as they possibly can. Now, frankly, these are the very people who have been smited in our economy, and that's why it's going to take a long time for the economy to come back, because these are the people who went out, had the audacity to try to make something happen in their lives, build a net worth for their family and a legacy, and now they're having the living crap beaten out of them. So these are the people who want to come back. Now, when I give people referrals who are of that type, I always tell people I don't get my referrals from the bulletin board at the coffee shop. I get my referrals from absolutely the best top quality people. And when you pay me $250 an hour, I know you may have your brother, sister's cousin who's in the business, and I laugh and I say, yeah, well, I don't know about who they are. But here's what I can tell you. I know who the best people are in town. I teach continuing education to these people. I know who the best people are. When you get a referral from me, it's worth paying for. So when I tell you to go see a person, I don't want you to argue with me. I'm telling you this person is the best. Yeah. The guy that we're going to have talking here today is in the insurance business. All sizes are not one and the same. Just because this guy writes for the same insurance company or that insurance company doesn't make them the same. Nothing matters until something goes wrong with insurance. And then when it goes wrong, then your insurance, which has been a pain in the rear end up to that point, all of a sudden becomes the most important thing in the world. And that's when you find out whether or not you've got a good agent or not. So I want to introduce my friend and a guy that I've worked with for years and have been on the radio with, the guy that I consider to be the best and the guy that I refer my clients to. And I know that when I refer these clients, he's not going to undermine the credibility that I've worked so hard to build within the relationships I have in my client. If anything, he's going to enhance it. He and his wife, Addie, are just phenomenal. They've been in the business forever. So with that, I just want to introduce Brad Kaplan and the Kaplan Insurance Agency. Go right ahead, Brad.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate being on the show today.
Very cool. So, guys, Todd, tell me, how did you find Brad, and what singled him out for you? Because I know you do not hand off referrals lightly.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. I had heard about Brad's services, and some of the things that are poignant, and a lot of people don't understand this, is that I had heard that he had been licensed with a particular company. I'd heard about him from other people, clients who would come in the door, and how phenomenal he was. Several years later, after I had heard this with sitting with clients for many years, I actually wound up doing a radio show with him and got to know him and listen to his philosophy. And this is probably 3 years ago, and he and I think were on the radio for 2 years. And, ironically, I still didn't refer business to him and went on working with him directly, and then inevitably really found out about his philosophy, sent him a few clients carefully, and they came back with such stellar stellar reviews that I just couldn't help but refer my clients to him from then on. The other thing, though, that's also important, which is what I was alluding to, is that there are certain insurance carriers whereby you have to be in the business for 10 years. You have to have low client complaints. You have to just be an incredible agent just to get these contracts. And one of the ones he's going to talk about, which is Chubb Sovereign, if you're an independent broker, you could be in the business for 20 years and you'll never get a contract with these people because they are just absolutely top shelf, work with the best people, insure the best properties, and have some of the best policies you're ever going to find. Of course, it's lost on the average person because they're all they're interested in is whether or not they're going to save $10 on their policy. But for people who really know and people who understand and have been through a storm, they are concerned with these things. So, from that, I knew that Brad was the best, and I have never had anything but the best glowing reviews from every client I've ever sent to him.
Brad, we hear that you make insurance sexy. So follow that up, why don't you?
That's because Craig comes in and talks to my wife.
So yeah, talk a little bit about the fact that in order to be an agent like yourself with your own company, and how hard it is to line up these really, really solid companies.
Yeah, the best companies out there are, there's a huge vetting process. You don't just call up and start selling insurance for every carrier that's out there. For the independent agencies like us, first of all, I'll just differentiate ourselves. We're independent. That means we're not captive to any one particular carrier. There are several out there, and you've seen them on TV. And there's also direct writers, and that's insurance being sold by little green lizards and cavemen.
So in other words, in that, what you're saying, Brad, is that these are companies whose agents essentially can only write for one carrier, and what they have in their bag of tricks is limited to the company that they represent. They're not able to shop, and they're not able to do the independent analysis like you. Is that what you mean by that?
Exactly. It's a one size fits all. You come in, and it doesn't matter what your financial position is. If you own, if you're a renter with a car, if you own a $2 million home and have 6 cars and a Lamborghini in a second home in California, you're getting the same policy from the same place. It's all coming from the same bag, so to speak. What an independent can do, such as our agency, is we've got lots of carriers, so we offer choice because different companies are going to have an appetite for a different type of individual, a different type of situation. And that's what you want to be doing, is you want to be shopping for someone in the marketplace that's got the ability to analyze your specific family's needs, set up a protection plan that makes sense for you and your family. It's not just the same one that we sell to everybody, and then shop that plan around and find the company that's got the best price point for you.
So why does insurance matter? I mean, it seems so obvious on the face, but seriously, there's got to be deeper reasons beyond just make sure in case your house burns down or you crash your car.
A lot of people don't realize how important the coverage is. I mean, when we're in high school and college, we learn a lot about calculus and things like that. I don't know about any of you. I've never used calculus in my entire life. However, no one teaches us a thing about insurance. And the minute we graduate, there's at least 5 different types of insurance that we need, and we don't know a thing about it. Mm-hmm. So what people do is they search around on the internet buying insurance from little green lizards, find the cheapest thing, click, 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 and then they put the policy in a drawer and hope to God that it is
they don't need it.
Yeah. They don't need it. What we do is we actually know what we're doing. All of the agents in our agency are trained, and we don't hire just anyone. We specifically look at trying to set up a protection plan that makes sense for you so that you actually have coverage at the time of loss.
Okay. That's a big deal. And one of the things that I think a lot of people get confused on, and I know this as a consumer myself, I got divorced and I just stayed with the same major carrier that I've had all these other years. I'm terrified to switch. I'm scared, and because I don't know all these other names. I've never heard them before.
This is the very thing that I refer Brad for this very reason. It's education. The entire financial planning industry overall, and we can put insurance into that bag, thrives on telling people what to do, causing them to feel inept. And of course, a lot of people are talked down to in the financial world as consumers, and so they're scared to death to try to ask a question, because if they do, it potentially could be perceived as a stupid question. Now they've been found out, and now they'll be taken advantage of even more. I know that people feel this way. I only want to deal with people who are going to educate me, explain things to me. I'm intelligent. I can make decisions. I just need to have the right information. So I want education. I don't want to be told what to do. I want to I want to know how it works. Brad and his team do that. That's the difference.
Yeah. We hear, I'm so glad you said that, because that is the exact same thing I hear 3 times a day. Here on the radio, we're talking fast, trying to get a lot of information. But when we're in our office and we're talking to you on the phone or meeting with you one-on-one, slow down, and we go at the pace you need. If you want to be explained, what is it exactly that I'm buying? We've got all the time in the world. We can spend 10 minutes on the phone. We can spend 2 hours. Honestly, myself, my wife, any of our agents in the office, we have the same philosophy. I've seen my wife sit with someone in her office for over 4 hours talking about their home policy. Not because she was directing that time, but because the person had so many questions. She didn't care. It doesn't matter.
And usually the person who's asking those questions is someone who's actually had a significant loss on a claim, and now they found out the hard way what their insurance company would and would not cover, and that's a little bit late in the game to be finding these things out. So when I sit down and I talk with someone and help them manage their money, I say, well, look, the deductible is the thing that allows you to have the greatest control over your premium. We try to save money in that and put that money away. But after that, hey, man, I can deal with a $500 or a $1,000 deductible. Even if it's hard to come up with that money, I can survive that. But when I've got $100,000 worth of coverage and there's a claim or there's a loss of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and now I'm responsible for the difference, whoa, that's where it all goes sideways, and that's what I need to know about.
That's a big, big deal. And so much of that stuff, I mean, again, we all blindly buy insurance. I mean, we're either required to for our cars, our homes, or whatever. But I think a lot of us, there's a lot of big questions. So Brad Kaplan with the Kaplan Insurance Agency, stick around with us here at Cover Your Assets. 855-835-8500 is the number. And don't forget to go to coveryourassets21.com and download the Financial Crisis Bible. Craig, Todd, and Jason back with you.
From the places she's wandered and the shame she can't hide.
AM 1280, The Patriot.
Does your business need money? If you own a business and need more money to grow, I have your solution. I want to invest in you first and give you an opportunity to receive a free 45-minute consultation to share with you how you can get business lines of credit now for your business with our trained business credit experts. I'm Scott Letourneau, the CEO and founder of Fast Business Credit and Nevada Corporate Planners. Over the past 14 years, I've helped thousands of business owners get business lines of credit now to get off to a fast start to profits in their businesses. Take the next step and call our offices at 888-627-7007, 888-627-7007 to schedule your free 45-minute consultation, or go to getbusinesslinesofcreditnow.com. Again, getbusinesslinesofcreditnow.com.
Is it possible to buy real estate in your IRA or 401k? Absolutely. Hi, I'm Todd Grill, president of Entrust Midwest. We are the leading third-party administrator for self-directed IRAs and 401ks in the upper Midwest. We provide the record-keeping, administration, and government reporting to allow you to use your retirement funds for non-standard investments. If you believe in complete retirement investment diversification and are looking for another source of capital to fund investments, then you should be taking advantage of this powerful retirement concept. Grow your retirement dollars in investments that you have control over, such as real estate, businesses, precious metals, and a host of other investment opportunities. We offer Roth and traditional IRAs, health savings accounts, Coverdell education IRAs, and the new Roth 401k. Visit us at entrustmidwest.com. That's ENTRUST Midwest.com. Or call for a private consultation, 763-559-5363. That's 763-559-5363. Entrust Midwest.
This summer has brought Minnesota and our nation to a critical decision point. In St. Paul, Governor Dayton and legislative Republicans are locked in a struggle over the governor's plan for double-digit growth in state spending, stadium taxes, photo ID, and reforms to overhaul our public schools. In Washington, President Obama continues to preside over the worst economy since the Great Depression. Battles between Republicans and Obama over the debt ceiling, Libya, and the economy loom. Follow these issues locally and nationally from a conservative perspective. Visit theminnesotawatchdog.com. theminnesotawatchdog.com.
Most companies advertise to generate interest. At Rubicon Mortgage Advisors, they care about your best interest. They help you make life's big moves with the most comprehensive finance solutions that extend far beyond your current needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned real estate investor, you can expect unequaled personal service and a lifelong relationship. Visit RubiconMortgageAdvisors.com to learn more about their locally based luxury service experience. That's RubiconMortgageAdvisors.com.